Okay, Muster 0063 back again for I Want to Kill the Kamilia Part 6 and what I'm going to call Stage 6, the final boss. And once she's made her way to the middle, or he, bleh, we won't have to worry about waiting for the move to the middle now. We might have to worry about me messing up my timing right at the beginning for the comparatively easy bit, but yeah, oh well, we have a stereotypical avoidance battle. And done a really quite terrible job there, but still managed to get through it. Oh, whoops. God, I'm gonna really mess up on this now, because it'll probably take me a little while to relearn where I need to be. But when that time does come where I do learn where I need to be, in all honesty, there is only one move in this entire fight that I loathe. Unfortunately, it's pretty near the end. I think it's the second to last one. Which of course means I've got to go through an awful large chunk of the fight to get to it every time. And that's a bit of an irritant, but oh well, who cares about the latter stage of the fight when I can't get past the first two moves really at the moment. Let's call the first little dodging bit as a move as well. So let's make it 3. Let's just give myself a little bit of a pat on the back. Probably undeserved, but yeah. Right, good. Again, it can be quite difficult to describe exactly where you kind of need to be. That's obviously not where you need to be for there. And obviously there are, with this, there's not kind of like spikes or fruit or anything completely filling the screen. So there are loads of different ways that you could dodge this. I like to kind of, for the first couple of areas, kind of stay on the right-hand side of the screen. Standing where I was there tends to avoid the spikes that kind of come through. Why the hell did that hit me? I don't know if that's a homing thing. Then I jumped so that I made the thing go slightly higher or not. I don't know. But yeah, kind of. At least what I do for the first few bits is kind of stay toward the right-hand side of the screen. Right, can we get this bit right now? Yeah, around here should avoid little spikes. Yep, good. Right, let's jump that right. Now I kind of make my way to the middle because I want to be over to the left-hand side for the next phase. And is it about here? I thought it was about the gap between the 5th and the 6th. Well, I'll move anyway, but there you go. Oh, it might be a bit further over. Okay, now this one's all about timing. Like I said, all about timing, and I've completely lost it. That is irritating when you don't know it's coming. Can be irritating even when you do know it's coming, because you do have to be really rather precise about that. There is no warning really whatsoever. So, other than kind of getting used to it just from repeated playthroughs, there's not really an awful lot I can suggest about that. I could suggest not dying to really, really stupidly easy sections right at the beginning. Funnily enough, maybe the best thing I could think of in terms of what I try to go by when trying to dodge the Solgrim section there, where Sonic is around and the water tower and Violante, whatever, or is it the Om Nom Nom thing? Is to go by the music cue, because it will be at the exact same time every time the fight goes. So if you can get the learn where the music is timed, when that kind of appears on screen, then you can kind of hopefully get it every time from then. I know there is a spot on that screen just before the Solgrim area, where on the left-hand side where you can stand, I think pretty much in one spot, and you should avoid everything. But I can't find it for the life of me at the moment. So you're getting to see a wealth of failure. We haven't got anywhere near the one move yet at the moment that really ticks me off. Here's hoping we get there soon. Whoops. Right, this bit. Why am I messing up on this bit so bad? Right, I might try doing that from now on. Hi, hi, hi. Apologies, you might just have to kind of sit here and watch me relearn where I need to be positioned for this fight, for various screens of this fight. Oh, good God! Right, this will be the last go before I have to cut. In fact, I'm slightly... Well, gee whiz. That is about the worst video I could have posted for this playthrough. I'm cutting it there. Rather like the screen, let's blank out that last little session. That's a good start. Yay! Right. Whoa! Oh. No, I'm alright, just about. I swear it's not this far over to the left. Good God! Gee whiz! Right, I think it's further over. It must be a lot further over to the right than where I'm originally thinking it was. I'm sure there's a place. There's a few places where you could be there, but I've always got it by being somewhere on the left-hand side of the screen. But God only knows where now. Oh lordy, lordy, lord. I did say Solgrim was probably the hardest boss, didn't I, in the last video? I still stand by that, just about. For the moment, anyway. Right, about here, is it then? No! I think it's about still two spikes further over. If anyone is having trouble with this boss, then by all means, when I finally get myself positioned correctly, then hopefully that's somewhat of an indicator of where you could be when trying to dodge all the moves here. But I'm not doing a very good job of demonstrating where the safe spots are or anything. I'm not doing a very good job of anything at this moment in time. Right, this spike, and then move to the left. Right, good God. There we go. I jumped, I thought what was actually a little bit too early, but still just managed to make it. Did I mention that the music is absolutely freaking awesome, by the way, as well? Here we go. I hate this move. And I might have to relearn how to do this. Basically, the cherries, or fruit, whatever, kind of zero in on you in a pattern, but at a certain point in time, they'll stop. What you have to do is try and create a space so that you can jump out of the kind of the square or the circle that it will put round you, because they will then kind of home in, for God's sake, home in, you know, in the circle or the square or whatever. So they'll kind of crush you if you've not managed to get out. So what you have, you have to try and somehow create a space for you to be able to kind of jump out and exit, which is easier said than done, and I have real difficulty pulling it off. So if you thought this fight was going bad so far, you might be in for nothing yet. When we keep dying over and over on that bit. Right, it was this spike, was it? Yep. And then move over to the left. Right, I hopefully have got that sorted now. And hopefully that as well. Although again, I thought I jumped slightly too early. There are numerous, obviously, ways you could dodge this spike bit, so just find a pattern that works for you, really. The one I'm doing here is usually what works for me, but oh well, I just can't do anything at the moment, so yay, yay me. Whoops, that was far too early. I'm so nervous about this damn spike now that I can't remember which bloody one it is every single time. Right, can we get through the spike weaving bit this time? I think whatever happens, this will be the last go during this bit of the recording anyway. Obviously the angles at which these kind of come down can be quite deceptive, so it's not the easiest thing in the world, but... Oh, I could have had that if the bloody thing had... If I backed off to the right, I think that was looking quite good. Hopefully that will work. But yeah, the recording's going on, so I'm going to cut again there. Let's try again. Since this is the final boss, I'm quite keen to not start every time I cut the video or cut the recording with a stupid death. But I'm quite keen not to kind of cut too much out of it here. But I probably won't let the video go on beyond. Oh, for the love of God! Beyond maybe half an hour or so. So if this is proving really problematic, then I might start cutting. But ultimately, you know, why not try and give a true reflection of, you know, just of how, you know, how this is kind of being. You know, ultimately, I think the other stages have gone quite well. But you know, if I start cutting here, then it's not necessarily a true reflection of how difficult this boss might be. So you know, I generally like to not do too much kind of cutting where possible. But obviously, if things are taking excessive amounts of time, then you know, you don't want to be watching continual failure. So I may stop doing so. But ultimately, now I'm reasonably confident, having got to this kind of bit a few times now. I'll probably die, as I say, you know, on stupid bits on the first parts of the fight. You know, I'll keep doing so. But ultimately, this is probably now going to come down to this bit. Can I get out here? Yes! Please don't mess this up. Please don't mess this up. Oh no, there's another spike bit, which I forgot about. Ah! And they come at really kind of weird angles here. And after a certain point, they'll stop and kind of go up and then down again. Right. Final move in this bit, and the idea, well, it forms a giant save, but if you kind of stand over to the right and kind of double, the lines basically kill you. But if you move and double jump through to the left, you should be fine. And that is phase 1 done. Don't worry about the giant moon, there's nothing you can do about it. It doesn't kill you, nothing else happens now. There's just a little bit of kind of a so-called cutscene before we transition to phase 2. And the moon is coming back. The floor disappears. And we can start phase 2 once we hit the save. Another little avoidance section, which I might have to. I'm gonna skip the beginning again, because you can do by pressing the S button. That will skip the beginning. This is all really about knowing where you need to be positioned. What's irritating about this is that the edge of the screen kills you, because this can be quite... Whoa! Not knowing where I need to be positioned. This can be quite intricate, as you can tell here. There's not a lot of space, really, everywhere. If I can remember where on earth I need to be, I'm pretty sure I need to be near the bottom for the first bit, because I need to go up at some point. Yeah, I need to go up for this bit where the kind of spikes come in like that, and through like that. That's exactly what I want to do. Now, from memory, I want to be somewhere around here. Yep, good. And now I'd like to move over to this little area. This second phase doesn't go on for too long. Unlike the first one, which, mind you, that doesn't go on for too long either. But, wow, if I dodge... This is the final thing, so if I dodge this, we're actually done. Brilliant! Okay, just pummel right now. The moon is trying to force me down, but... All I've got to do is just get high enough, make sure I don't go off the screen, but high enough so that the spikes hit Kamilia and not me, and we are done. That was phase 2 done. I'm going to keep double jumping to make sure I don't fall off the screen and die before the transition. That would not be good. Now, do I get an opportunity to pause here before the end credits? Because otherwise I might have to cut the damn thing before the credits roll. Do I get a cut? Yes, I do. Right. This is in the water. You can kind of swim, so just make your way to the right. The moon's completely covering the screen here, but make your way to the right. Now, once I go through to the right, the credits will start. So I'm going to stop there for them. No, I'm not. Bugger. Okay, I might have to cut the recording and actually beat phase 2 again. So hang on just a second. Well, in one way that'll teach me for going to the right too soon, but another way, god damn the flipping time constraint on my recording software. Grr. So yeah, I just beat Kamilia again. And apologies that fight went quite quickly. I didn't probably get to explain an awful lot of the actual strategy I employed, but... And I don't, maybe I can just say, just do what I did just there. But there was maybe one area there where I actually dodged a section on the right-hand side. Not the wrong way, because I obviously dodged it, but I made a far tighter manoeuvre than I otherwise would have done. So, you get the general idea of how I did that as well. So if you are having trouble finding safe spots and such like that, then hopefully you can take something away from the fight. So now, with a new recording bit, let's now move to the right and get the credits. And the credits tell you which games all the screens came from, in English this time. So, as we can kind of see there, the only one that I've played there is from stage 1 is I Want to Be the Fan game. I've never really heard. Well, obviously I've heard them because I've obviously played this game before, but as a recognition kind of factor of the games, then absolutely not. I do recognise Tribute from that list, and that is about it. Although, funnily enough, I don't remember the screen from that. But I'm sure my memory will jog itself at a particular point in time. Stage 3, I think there are a few more screens I do recognise. Yep, I was right with I Want to Be the Green, I Want to Be the Guy, and I Want to Take the Time Machine. So 3 there from games that I have played. Moving on to stage 4. I Want to Kill the Guy. Yep. I Want to Be the GB. Yep. So, and that one, by the way, was I Want to Play the World's Hardest Game. So I kind of got that roughly right, despite not knowing what it was. But 2 games from that set of screens that I've played. And stage 5, the only one there that I recognise is I Want to, or the only one that I've played is I Want to Be the Boshi. Are we done? I don't quite remember how the credits end. So yeah, the final boss, I suppose, did take less time than Solgren, so phase 2 certainly anyway, I find reasonably easy actually, so yeah, I'd probably say that Solgren's actually the hardest boss in the game. And even phase 1, although I was messing up really often there right at the beginning, just trying to relearn where I need to stand. The only one that I actually find really difficult is the one where the cherries form a square or circle around you. But actually, funnily enough, that didn't seem to go that bad. I think it was only 2 deaths to that. So yeah, actually overall, I'm quite happy with how the final boss went. Okay everyone, so apologies for the very abrupt end to that last little section of the recording. Basically what happened was, as soon as the credits finished rolling, the game shut itself down. So I had to, I went, just to end the game on a high note, I went and beat the second phase a 3rd time, just so I could end on this screen and not, the title screen or the game over screen or whatever. And I didn't, so the game just shut down after the credits. So here we are again, back at the moon bit underwater, having beaten the second stage of Kamilia for a 3rd time. Yippee! Yeah, it's reasonably easy. I was happy enough to do it. Happy in inverted commas. So yeah, that's basically it. That's I Want to Kill the Kamilia. It's a fun game actually. I enjoy the concept of creating a bunch of having a bunch of screens from other games. It gets me exposed to other games that I wouldn't necessarily play. it's not so insanely difficult that it makes you want to slit your wrists or tear your hair out or anything more extreme. Probably nothing that more extreme than slitting wrists, but oh well. But yeah, I did proclaim earlier, in an earlier video, that probably part 2, because I was going on about number 2, that I would never really ever do a Let's Play of I Want to Kill the Kamilia 2. Without a promise that I will do it, I am kind of, even in the short period of time that I would finish this game, coming around to the idea of maybe doing it. Just if nothing else, maybe just to kind of show off the game and just how insanely difficult it is. If I do ever do it, I doubt it'll be coming next as for my next I Want to Be game anyway. If I do, from about maybe stage 4 onwards, almost certainly stage 5 onwards, it's probably going to break down from being a traditional Let's Play, where I will probably spend a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so, on a particular screen, and if I haven't beaten it or I've got to a particular save point, then I will probably just cut and show a successful run, probably without any commentary, of me actually completing it, because some screens take hours, literally. There are some screens on stage 5 and 6 that take up to 4 hours for me to beat the first time. The final thing that you have to do on stage 6, which by the way I'm not calling a boss, that's just an ordinary screen. Okay, it's a chase segment, but it's just, it could be anything chasing you. It's just an ordinary screen for my money. That took, I'm not joking, 9.5 hours for me to beat that. That's the longest time I've ever spent on any I Want to Be game trying to beat one screen. So as you can kind of imagine, I'm not necessarily looking forward to trying to put myself through all that again, but I am warming around to doing something on it, because I think at least the first, maybe up to the first 4 stages, up to stage 5, I think are manageable. From that point on, the game just really, really, really gets freaking insane. So this is absolutely not a promise to do it, but the merest suggestion that if I'm in the right mood and I feel so inclined one day, I may do it, but definitely not a promise. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. This has been I Want to Kill the Kamilia. As I stated at the end of my kind of last Mega Man video, which was the end of Mega Man 1, I will now kind of do an alternating thing again. So the next set of videos will be, once I've made a bit more headway through, or indeed having now done a large section of the post-commentary I need to, will be a Let's Play Perfect Run run of Mega Man 2. So that's the next thing to look forward to. That should be fun. Stay tuned for that. This is Musto0063 signing off. Cheerio.